I'm going to talk to you very quickly about innovation and entrepreneurship and how to actually do that. We get excited about these big things that we want to do. We get that shiver down our spine about major problems that we need to solve. But then we go back to our corporates or our companies and figure out, well, who exactly can help with this? Because it's not a function of HR, it's not a function of this, it's not a function of that. So how do you build that system and the processes in a company that can help you grow and innovate within this? So there's many options that people take. People tend to think that they can be either a corporate drone or they can choose their own path with their own company. But there is a third option, and that's an entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur and an entrepreneur are very similar in nature. They grind away every day. Entrepreneur will spend the majority of their time just connecting dots. They will try to figure out what connects up, what services I can bring in, what new tech, what trends I can bring into a company to make it better. It's not a function in of itself, but it's the way in which you operate. And that's essentially what we're trying to get to. Is that the same how entrepreneurs are different to corporate people or these sort of people? They're looking for specific things in their life. They're looking for that purpose that they can drive towards. So I'm going to talk very quickly about how do you find these people who can be part of that community that can build a company and a corporate to grow with innovation. And while I talk about innovation and I use words like innovation and transformation, what it boils down to really is change. How do you change a mountain? How do you change a big corporate? How do you change a company? And you need to find the people who can do that. And a lot of times, these people don't know that they're these entrepreneurs. They can actually do other things. So I'm going to talk very quickly about how to find these guys and then how to cultivate an ecosystem around it. This is part of a larger sort of discussion in our workshop, but I'm trying to get it very condensed so we have a quick little taste of what we're looking for. They're not the leaders, they're not the bosses, they can find from different places. So you're looking for that inquisitiveness. You're looking for people who are inquisitive about the way in which things operate. They're inquisitive about the company. They're inquisitive about the environment in which they exist. So those sort of people you can spot very easily. The second option is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is really the key part because like with entrepreneurs are going to have bad days, and they do. Every day, you're just trying to get that consistency of things that work because things are not going to work the way that you expect it to. And you're looking for that enthusiasm to keep moving. And that's where that FTP, that purpose drive, is coming from. If they can align to that purpose, then that enthusiasm to keep doing that purpose is what you're looking for. Then autonomy. Autonomy is the key. And I know it's very hard to call about autonomy, but that autonomy thing, yeah, thank you. Yeah, the Stormtrooper is really cool. I dig into because I've used him a lot, so he's actually quite cool. Then the autonomy is very hard because your boss doesn't want to give autonomy. And even though that they know that they need to innovate and change, to give up autonomy, they feel as if they need to give it up. But it's not the case. Like autonomy, you're looking for people who can operate in an autonomous way that you can say, here's a mission, go. That's the people that you're looking for. And it's up to the leadership and structure and the corporate to allow that space to exist. Those three things in a person is what you're looking for. That inquisitiveness, that enthusiasm, and that autonomy. These are all parts of what it makes a good entrepreneur, a good change maker. And that's what you're looking for, is a change maker. Not a change manager, that's a different word entirely, but a change maker. That's what you're looking for. So how do you build a culture that can survive? Because remember that you can't be innovating in a crisis. You need to be prepared. There's a good quote I heard from Chris Voss. He said that you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your level of preparation. So you need to have this prepared already. You need that culture there already that can innovate and pivot very quickly. You'll see a lot of startups and corporates that actually have pivoted very quickly already have all of these things at play. And then you add on the Excel model and the scalability just becomes huge. So from a culture point of view, what I'm going to ask is to solve the human problem first. And when I said solve the human problem first, we all know that it's very true, but solving for the human problem first talks to your MTP. It's that purpose-driven saying, why the hell do we exist? Then what I'm going to ask, learn from the industries on the edge around you. From an advertising point of view, there's tech and design that sit right next to you in that space. And if you allow yourself to explore different industries and spaces and areas, that provides that culture of innovation. So from a thinking point of view, I'm going to ask you to think about just 3 ways that your company is going to be changed in the next, not 5 years or next 2 years, but in the next week, in the next 4 weeks, tomorrow even. Tomorrow, there's changes happening tomorrow because of how we're working at the moment. So how is your company going to be changed by all of this new stuff that's happening around you, the Gutenberg moments? How are they going to affect you? Is it from a retail to digital point of view, or is it something bigger, the way that people operate? So think about that for a second. Then I'm going to ask you to qualify that a little bit, to quantify it, essentially. Sorry, just trying to move to the next slide here. So to quantify it, because how much is that largest change going to affect your company from a cost point of view? And that's going to be your sort of key, your ace in the hole, to go back to the corporate guys and say, right, if you don't do this now, this is how much it's going to cost the company later on. That's going to get their eyes open, because they're looking at the monetary, they're looking at quarterly surveys and results. That's what they're looking at. And that's kind of your ace in the hole to help to build out this ecosystem. Look, there's more to it than simply this. But this is laying the foundation to provide that ecosystem. So when you go back to the office on Monday morning, or wherever you go to, or Zoom into the office on Monday morning, just think about how are you going to build that community and crowd to get you across the line with these new changes that you need to be doing. And they are changes. They're not innovation or transformation. They're changes that inherently need to happen for your company to survive.